Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video. This video, we're going to solve another machine on Pwned Labs, rather a lab on Pwned Labs. Now, if you've never heard of Pwned Labs, I like to think of them like hack the box for the cloud. They have hands-on labs covering AWS, Azure, and GCP, and I've really been digging into GCP or Google Cloud Pentesting. Now, the lab I want to showcase, at least in this video, and it's going to be a series of videos, but in part one, I want to showcase a lab where we get hands-on with hacking Google Workspace, Gmail, Google Drive, all of those fun things. Now, full disclosure, often when I make these videos, I'm approaching the machine completely live and blind. I did go through this lab offline. I wasn't actually planning on showcasing it on stream, but I thought it was so cool, I wanted to share it with all of you. But I am going to try to do it from a somewhat blind approach. I'll share my methodology, I'll share my thought process, I'll share about some of the things that got me stuck. But if you have a Pwned Lab subscription, you should follow along. You learn a lot by watching me. You learn a lot more by hands-on keyboard and doing it right alongside of me. If you don't have a sub, that's okay. You can live vicariously through me. Just take notes, take screenshots, and learn along the way. The other thing you might notice is up in this corner, right above my finger, you see some chat. This is the live stream. So I make my standalone YouTube videos while I'm streaming. If you have never been part of my live streams, you are missing out. If you join me for a live stream, you can be in the live studio audience like those people up there saying hello to YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, click the little bell notification thing so you get notified when I go live. But I stream all the time in the evening. Would love to have you join me for a live show. Hey, before we dive in, I do want to let you know that this video is brought to you by me. At the time of this recording, my courses are on sale for 20% off. This is this week only, the week of the 4th of July. After that, they'll go back to the regular price. I'm pretty sure this is the last sale or one of the last sales until Christmas, and this will be the cheapest you can get my courses, one-time payment to get lifetime access. As of this recording, I have two courses available. Intro to AWS Pentesting will take you from beginner level to intermediate when it comes to AWS and cloud pentesting, and Introduction to Hacking Methodology, a beginner-friendly course that will help you get started with CTFs and beginning a career as an ethical hacker. Now, depending on when you're watching this, on July 8th, my next course releases that I'm super excited about called Hands-on Phishing that will teach you to do full phishing campaigns with GoPhish and Evil Jinx, setting up full phishing infrastructure, purchasing domains, configuring certifications, doing phone call spoofing, creating pretext, bypassing defenses, so many things. I can't even remember all of it, but over 60 labs all about phishing, and I'm giving away an OSCP voucher. So if you enroll in that phishing course by August 5th, you will be eligible to win. I'll do that drawing live on stream. But hey, if you want to check out my courses, once again, they're on sale, 20% off for the week of the 4th of July only if you use the code FIREWORKS20 on checkout. I'll drop it in chat for all of you in the live stream. Fireworks20 on checkout, and I'll drop a link again to the courses over in the live stream for those of you who are just tuning in. That being said, let's go ahead and dive into the fun for today. So here is the lab I want to show off, and this will be part one. And we will talk about initial enumeration as we dive into this lab, but it's gain initial access. Actually, I clicked the wrong one. Gain initial access via social engineering. This isn't the one I want to do. That's a cool lab as well. But I actually want to do this lab, leverage Google Workspace for GCP Resource Access. Let me click into this and turn this lab on, and we'll let this lab get booted up. While it boots up, let's cover some of the things we're going to be talking about, and let's go ahead and get our notes ready. So first, I'm just going to copy this. Well, you know, I'm going to name it a little bit different. I'll just say hacking Google Workspace, and then in parentheses, no, that's not what I want to drop in. I thought I copied it, but I didn't. What I want to drop in is the name of the lab right there. Boom. And let me look at chat. Am I missing anything? Creating red team courses. So my phishing course very much is a red team course. Let me go ahead and make this full width. Have you seen the new Linux Prevesk? I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, I don't think. But let's go ahead and get some details ready here. Is this, okay, it's still spawning the lab. But we'll read through the scenario and get all of this dropped in our notes. I meant to grab this so I can tab complete, or tab to switch between windows. I'm gonna do an H1, and we'll just call this our scenario/scope. And here is our scenario. During a red team engagement, your colleague, our Hack Smarter colleague, successfully phished an employee. They must have gone through my hands-on phishing course after it releases on July 8th. They went through my course, they learned how to do phishing, and they phished an employee. Pwned Labs forgot that detail, but that's really what happened. And they gained credentials to access to their Windows jump box. From this initial foothold, your objective is to pivot further into the organization's infrastructure and demonstrate impact by gaining access to sensitive resources. Now, what I love about Pwned Labs is there's full, detailed, written walkthroughs for every single lab. So if you're brand new to cloud hacking, you will be able to follow along. But additionally, I love that there's learning outcomes. The way I approach these labs is I take the learning outcomes as like mini challenges, right? So we have understand how to pivot from compromised endpoint to cloud infrastructure, practice GWS, that's Google Workspace enumeration, Google Docs, Keep, and Gmail, learn to identify and exploit misconfigured or overly permissive GCP services, and explore how insecure Firebase configurations can lead to backend bypasses. So what I want to do is first, I'll copy this and just drop it into scenario scope. There we go. And I'm going to do another H1, and we'll say our learning objectives. And I'm just going to grab these learning objectives right here, and that's going to be how we structure our notes. I'll paste that in there. And let's grab this first learning objective. I'm going to do another H1, and we will paste that in. Now, what I love about Notion is we can go ahead and do a table of contents in the beginning of our notes, and then we can see everything that we are covering. So first, we need to understand how to pivot from a compromised endpoint into cloud infrastructure. So let's see what our compromised information is. We have it right here. Let's copy that information down. I'm just going to do a code block with 3 backticks, and I'll paste in the IP. We have a username of Jason W, and we have a password of Jason W123 with some leet speak dug into that. So step number 1 is knowing this is a compromised workstation. Let's see if we can RDP into the workstation and just begin enumerating what is on the workstation. So I'm going to do Remina. You can also use X-Free RDP, but I personally just like Remina. I like the interface. I feel like it's super user-friendly, and I'm going to paste in, not the password. We want to go ahead and grab the IP. So I'll grab the IP, paste that in. Hey, thank you, Smoke World. I appreciate the kind words. And it doesn't seem to want to connect. Did I do something wrong? Oh, guys, you know what's wrong? I'm actually glad I showcased on the video. So I had the wrong lab pulled up at first. Each lab here actually has a different VPN because of how the cloud environments are configured. So I am on the wrong VPN for the lab that we want to start. So if you ever have that issue, as you launch the lab, make sure you download the new VPN configuration file. So I'm going to do sudo open VPN, Tyler Ramsby, and we want not that one. I know I'm just learning how to use a computer, but let's go ahead and do this one and get connected. And now we'll see if that works for us. I'm going to grab that. Can I ping that machine? VPN was still connecting. I think it's connected now, though. We have initialization sequence completed. It added the routes. It is a Windows machine, so it may not respond to ping. Let me just try Remina on this machine now. There we go. And yes, we will accept the certificate. I think the username was Jason W, if my memory serves me correct. If I could go back over to my notes, Jason W, and I'm going to copy his password here. And hit OK. And there we go. So once we solve user error on the VPN, I'm glad I realized exactly what it was right away. We can go ahead and toggle our dynamic resolution update. So when you open up Remina, I always recommend clicking that. It makes it so it's full screen, a little bit easier to follow. And here we are. We are on the compromised workstation. It is booting up, but this is very real world. When I'm doing at least an internal pen test, there's going to be multiple times, or there has been multiple times, where I gain access to an employee's workstation. You may not have admin access, but just being on an employee's workstation, you can hunt for data. You can hunt for credentials. You can see what you are able to find. Now, one of the best ways to hunt for credentials, you might think, hey, maybe I should open up File Explorer, maybe I should open up CMD, maybe I should look at PowerShell. But there's one thing I always recommend, and that is the KISS principle. If you don't know what KISS is, it's keep it simple, stupid. Now, I'm not calling you stupid. Maybe I am. But the KISS principle is super important, not only when you're working through a lab, but even in real-world pen testing. You don't have to be like the super elite hacker dropping 0 days to successfully compromise a domain or to pivot from a compromised workstation into the cloud. You just have to think like, okay, what am I looking for? Oh, what up, JMod? Good to see you in chat. But what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for a password. I'm looking for a way to get access to their Google account, their Gmail account, their Google Drive account. How can I gain access to their account? Well, you could hunt through here, but what do people use to log into stuff? They use a web browser. And one mistake that people often make is they save their credentials to their web browser instead of using a more secure password manager. So let's just check this out. If I open up, we'll just start with Microsoft Edge, and then we'll try Google Chrome. We'll open up the almighty Microsoft Edge. We'll see if it opens slowly but surely. We're logged into a profile. Now, there's no internet, so it's not going to actually connect to the internet. But what if we go to here, and then I think it's settings in Edge, and I don't know where it's actually stored, but if I search for password, we have Microsoft Wallet, and we have passwords here. I'm going to pop that open. And we have one site and app. Now, we have to enter in Jason's password to grab that, but we actually know Jason's password because remember, he was phished. The red team member used my hands-on phishing course. He's living in the future. It came out July 8th, so this engagement's happening in September. He went through my phishing course, learned how to do phishing, and got Jason's creds. Let me paste that in. Okay, let me type that in. It should have allowed copy and pasting, but hey, if not, that's fine. W@123. Jason W. I think that's correct. Okay. And would you look at that? Just look at it. Another classic YouTube video. We have Jason W. and we should be able to see his password, and we can. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and copy this information for our notes. I'm going to open up Flameshot and we'll grab a screenshot of this. I'm going to go like this, Control C, jump over to my notes, and I'm going to drop in the screenshot there. But this very much, guys, very real world attack vector. That when you have a compromised workstation, before you do the elite hacking stuff, like literally just check the browsers for saved password. You will often find some saved credentials that you can pass around. So we have a new password for Jason W. He's not reusing his password, so kudos to him for that. He does have a different password for Google as opposed to like his regular account, but we do have access now to his account potentially. Now, if he has MFA or something configured, we might have some issues gaining access, but let's go ahead and find out. So step number 1, understand how to pivot from a compromised endpoint to cloud infrastructure. Done. Complete. You thought Leroy Jenkins, another classic YouTube video. I love it, Hoi Manoi. But you may have thought we had to do some crazy hacking on the terminal. No, just check browser information and see if you can find a password. But let's grab this and make a new H1 as we work on this task. So practice GWS or Google Workspace enumeration for sensitive data, Google Docs, Keep, and Gmail. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can log in. I'm going to go over to this one, and I'm going to open up a new private window so it doesn't try to log into my Gmail. And I'm just going to go to gmail.com, and let's see if we can grab his credentials. So we have Jason W. But we don't have his password. Or his domain, now that I'm thinking of it. And this is actually something, if I remember right, when I was doing this myself, I couldn't figure out how they knew his domain. Yeah, I put that in my own notes. So the domain for Jason W., and we would know this if we were doing a red team engagement, they should probably put this in the beginning, or I'm missing it, but I think it's shopgigantic.com. Is that a real website? I think it's at shopgigantic.com. I'm curious how they, oh, look, so they found the password a different way. I literally just looked at the browser. But anyways, it's at shopgigantic.com, I believe, but I don't know how you're supposed to get that from the lab. Maybe you are just supposed to look at the walkthrough for that part. I don't know. Maybe I'll ping Ian and see if we can add it to the scenario saying that we compromised shopgigantic.com, because in a real red team engagement, we would, of course, know the target domain of the user that we compromised. But let's try this. Jason W at shopgigantic.com. And we'll grab his password. If I can grab it from here. Enter your password. Next. Will this be posted later? It will be. And we are logged in. We have compromised Jason W's Gmail at shopgigantic.com. Let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of that. And I'll drop it over to my notes. And we're going to update this thing. It's actually Jason W at shopgigantic.com. And I'll add a note like, oh, I don't know why it scrolled up. I'm not sure how we were supposed to find shopgigantic.com, but that's the domain. In the real world, we would have known that. But we have this. Can I paste this in showing that we have access to his Gmail account? And now we can just begin poking around. Let's see what we were able to find. We have some code validations. We have an email right here to someone named Caleb. Hey, Caleb, what's up? Can you add me to the new BI dashboard group? So we have some BI dashboard. I'm working on sales projections for Q3 and need access to historical data sets. Thanks, Jason. Yo, what's good? What's good, Jason? You're added to the SG Analytics read-only group. You should get an invite in your inbox. Also, heads up, dashboard refreshes every 4 hours, not real time. Perfect. Got the invite. Appreciate the quick turnaround. All right, can we see sent? We have that. What's this? Log alerts. Yo, Caleb. Bruh, I just got a pager alert. Who the frick uses pagers, bruh? They've triggered the retry circuit 5 times in the last hour. Can you check Redis and GCP Q Health? Looks like we're dropping updates. All right, and yo, I need a go-ahead from you to run 2 minor SQL patches on LiveDB. Safe to run around 11 p.m. Ayush. I don't know if that's a good idea. But outside of that, nothing super interesting in the email. Let's jump over to like Google Drive. And we have 2 things. We have internal docs and PM share. Let's start with internal docs. You're right, Alepsis, that would likely work, but in this lab environment, the affected workstation or VM doesn't have internet access, so it wouldn't work. But in the real world, yes, it would. All right, we got our Black Friday 2024 marketing strategy. Ooh, 15% off. Competitive intelligence. We have a confidential source of Walmart's. They hacked Walmart. They know what Walmart's doing. What's the influencer partnership? Hey, they better be paying me $2 million. Oh, I'm not even a micro influencer. Shoot, I'm like a freaking baby influencer then. All right, cloud infrastructure audit system. The cloud infrastructure audit system provides comprehensive monitoring and reporting capabilities. Let me just scroll through here. Okay, to initiate a comprehensive infrastructure audit, publish a message to the internal alerts topic. So if you know AWS, this is sort of like SNS topics in AWS where you can publish alerts out and go to people's emails. It can trigger things to happen. But here in G-Cloud, it's G-Cloud pub sub topics publish internal alerts message. Some craziness, but hey, we have some G-Cloud stuff that might come in handy later. Let's grab a screenshot of that for our notes. Do Control-C and drop over to my notes. Just going to drop everything that we find here that may or may not be helpful. Some type of auditing going on. Each audit produces a comprehensive JSON report containing instance status array, metadata, additional services, Cloud Run, Firebase, and other managed services. We have storage and buckets. Audit results are stored in randomly named buckets with a prefix pattern. Buckets are configured with read access. All audit data is automatically purged after 10 minutes. We have some cleanup options. Okay, so may or may not be helpful. We have a vendor directory. I don't think that's going to be helpful. Maybe an employee handbook. Well, this is like a full, is this a real full employee handbook? It is. Amazing. We have some Cloud Run interface. This is what I love, guys, about Pwned Labs. I feel like I'm in a real company's Google Drive right now. It's crazy. I love it. There's no other CTFs where you are compromising a real Gmail account, logging into Google Drive and trying to pillage data from it. No other platform does that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never logged into Google Drive or Gmail as part of a freaking CTF. It feels so real world. For all I know, Pwned Labs is hiring me to hack this real company, and I'm treating it like a CTF. We have expense reports. Oh, we have a gifted sub over on Twitch. Thank you, Dayla Dirty, and thank you, Nephilis, for notifying me. Guys, I apologize. Restream doesn't show me Twitch alerts. So thank you, Dayla Dirty, for your generosity. You're amazing, my friend. I appreciate it. But here we have some executive expense reports. Maybe these people can buy some gifted subs as well. Dang, that many expenses just for the CEO? We got some first-class flight to Tokyo, a business dinner in Tokyo for $1,200. Bruh, what kind of cheeseburgers is that? I guess it's Tokyo. Maybe they're not eating cheeseburgers. Private jet rental? This company has money. Harvard Business School executive program? I don't see any cybersecurity spending. That's probably their issue. Oh, we have AWS reInvent. You know, the maker of this lab did such an incredible job making this realistic. So cool. Oh, we have a VPN setup guide. A VPN configuration file. Username and password must be collected manually from the IT help desk. You have to go there and grab it. This probably isn't going to be as helpful. So I don't see VPN creds. All right, let's close that out. We have a performance report for the inventory, showing what's sold. And a store performance dashboard. I'm not going to look at that. We have PM share as well. What's this? Ooh, internal config notes. These flags control various parts of the internal order management app. Enable user view, enable admin tools, enable debug header. This seems like it could be really interesting. Let's grab this as well. Add it to our treasure chest here as we dig deeper into this organization. And guys, what I'm showing you, just like reading random documents and taking notes of this, is exactly what I do on a real internal pen test. You just take the time to read everything and you think, how might I use this as an attacker? And as long as you take good notes, these things will come back to you even in the real world. We have an infrastructure sync with Caleb and DevOps. Okay, nothing super interesting there. Internal user feedback. Implement strict role checks. Could be some security stuff we could exploit. Beta access document. What is the fulfillment portal? Oh, shoot, we have credentials. To assist in early stage testing, a demo login is provisioned for engineering and QA. These credentials are for sandbox demo use only. For full access to issue reporting, please contact the internal dev team. Internal VPN only. Can I actually hit this? I'm on a VPN, but I don't know if I'm on their internal VPN. No, okay, I can't. Oh, let's go ahead and grab that for our notes as well. We have some more creds. Maybe there's credential reuse that we can reuse those in different places. Hey, I'm using VirtualBox, Siva. Not that I love VirtualBox, but it is what I'm using. Oh, let me jump back over to this. I think that's about it with Google Drive. If we jump over to our notes, it says practice Google Workspace enumeration, Google Docs, Keep, and Gmail. So we haven't really looked at Google Docs. Unless that's what they mean by Drive, because docs are generally stored in Drive. Yeah, okay, so we did do that. Keep, I think keep is for storing notes in Google. I don't, let's see, is keep over here somewhere? Am I blind? Where the frick is Google Keep at? I'm going to search for apps Keep. Search results for Keep. Okay, maybe I don't need to be in the marketplace. We're just going to go Google Keep. All right, keep.google.com. That works too. Okay, so here we have some credentials. We have Windows and a service account zip. So a password for some zip file. Whoops. And we already have the Windows credentials. But this might be helpful for us. Let's grab a screenshot of this. We got a lot of things to dig through on this lab. I love it. Very real world. Lots of noise. Not knowing what exactly is going to be helpful, but take note of all of it. I'm going to copy that password just so I don't have to type it out. And then we have the window credentials there. Let's go ahead and keep looking at other things. Jump back over to Drive, because this is for some .zip file. We possibly missed something. So I was looking at shared drives. What about my drive? Okay, we got more stuff in my drive. We have company balances. Salary, 110 million? Dang. Bro, I'm making bank. We have a patented design. For what? What's the patented design? Wow, that's a crazy design. Maybe it's still loading. There's not much in the patent design. And, ooh, we have a service account key file. Now, this service account key file is often used with GCP. It's a service account key file that allows us to authenticate to GCP or the Google Cloud Platform to begin doing some enumeration. Let's go ahead and check out this file. I'm going to download it. Download anyway. Service account key file. Go over to my terminal. I'm going to rename this to RDP. We'll keep logged into that. Change this over to terminal. I'm here in Pwned Labs. I'm going to make a directory. I'm just going to hacking Google Workspace, CD over to hacking Google Workspace. I'm going to CP from my downloads file. And was it service account.zip? Did I I didn't download it twice. It literally has one in the name. And I'll save it to my current directory. I'm going to go ahead and unzip that. And I think we actually, so you see how it didn't actually do anything? We need to pass it a password. So let me remove RF, that service account key file, because we need to pass it a password. I don't know how to do it with unzip. Let me see if we can figure out help. Can we pass it a password? Unzip. Match file names, use escapes, overwrite, verbose files, list verbosely, extract files to messages, unzip. I'm not seeing it here. Can I just do it the GUI way? Pwned Labs. Notion or Obsidian, better note taking? Neither. Is whatever works for you. Okay, what if I extract here? Then I'm prompted for a password, and we do have that password that we found for this service account zip. Potentially, this is the password. I'm going to copy that, paste that in, hit OK. There we go. Now we have a .json file. Development in there. We have really not keys to the kingdom, but keys to a service account. And this will allow us to get CLI access to the Google Cloud Workspace, or really the Google Cloud environment in general, and then we can look for privilege escalation, we can pillage data, we can see what information we can get. If we jump back over to our notes, we can kind of see a roadmap of what we're heading to. If we jump back to our learning objectives, so looking at this, we understood how to pivot from a compromised endpoint to a cloud workstation. Remember, we literally just opened the browser and saw what files, what passwords are stored in the browser. We have this, practice GWS enumeration for sensitive data. We were able to do that, and we found a lot of sensitive data. I mean, we found invoices, we found financial information, and we found a service account zip file that we then found the password in Google Keep, and we were able to grab that information. We have 2 more tasks: to identify and exploit misconfigured or overly permissive GCP services, and then to explore how insecure Firebase configurations can lead to backend bypasses. But this is gonna be the end of the first video in this little mini series of working through this lab on hacking Google Workspace. But I have a challenge for you. If you have a sub to Pwned Labs, what I want you to do is figure out how can you use this right here, this key file. How can you authenticate to GCP or the Google Cloud Platform with this key file? So if you have a sub, give it a shot. See if you can figure it out. If you don't have a sub, I want you to do it as well. Do some research. Figure out exactly what a key file is in GCP, how the .json works for the key file, and how you can authenticate to it. So I want you, seriously, if you're watching this after the fact, don't just jump to part 2. Do some critical thinking on your own. Imagine you are on a pen test, you discover this information. How would you be able to pivot over to it? But this does conclude the end of this first video of working through this lab. Big kudos to Pwned Labs and the author for an amazing lab. And hey, for the rest of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in part 2.